A crippling winter storm is about to shut down half of America, and computer models just shifted overnight. Is your city in the new danger zone? The next 4 minutes will determine if you are prepared or left powerless in single-digit temperatures for over a week. Right now, winter storm watches stretch from New Mexico through Nashville, covering Dallas, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and the entire state of Arkansas. That is over 20 million Americans in the direct path. And here is what nobody is telling you. This is not your typical southern snow event that melts by Tuesday. The Arctic air behind this system will lock temperatures 20 to 40 degrees below normal for 7 straight days. Whatever ice accumulates on power lines is staying there. We need to talk about ice. Not snow. Ice. The European computer model is now showing 1 to 2 inches of ice accumulation along the Interstate 85 corridor. That is upstate South Carolina, northeast Georgia, and the Piedmont of North Carolina. If you have never experienced an inch of ice, let me paint this picture. Trees snap like toothpicks. Power lines collapse under the weight. Transformers explode in the night. And when temperatures drop to the teens the next morning, utility crews cannot safely make repairs. Charlotte could be shut down until February. Atlanta could see the same. These are not small towns. These are major metropolitan areas with millions of residents who will be trapped without power, without heat, in the coldest temperatures of the decade. But here is the question everyone is asking. Did the models shift north overnight? Yes. Does that mean southern cities are safe? Absolutely not. The shift means more ice, less snow. The shift means a more powerful storm with stronger winds. The shift means that warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico is going to surge further north, creating a larger zone where temperatures hover right at 32 degrees. That is the freezing point. That is the ice-making factory. Let me show you exactly what changed overnight and why meteorologists are more concerned now than they were 24 hours ago. 2 pieces of energy are driving this storm. One is extremely cold Arctic air plunging down from Canada. The other is warm, moist air streaming up from the Pacific through an atmospheric river. Think of it as a fire hose of moisture pointed directly at the southern United States. When you see blue colors draped across Texas, Arkansas, and Tennessee on weather maps, that means air is at or below freezing about 0.7 of a mile above your head. Now watch what happens. That southern energy and northern energy are starting to link up faster than originally forecast. They are combining forces. When that happens, the surface storm gets much stronger. Stronger storm means stronger winds. Stronger winds mean more warm air gets pushed north. More warm air means the rain-snow line shifts. But it does not shift to rain everywhere. It shifts to ice. The European model has gone haywire. It has amped this storm up significantly. The storm is now forecast to be much more intense, which drives that warm air even further inland. But intensity also means more precipitation. The jet stream is cranking an atmospheric river that is pulling moisture all the way from the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico simultaneously. This is a massive fetch of moisture slamming into dense cold air. Here is what that creates. In northern Oklahoma, 6 inches of snow. Northern Arkansas, 6 to 12 inches. Kentucky, 6 to 12 inches. Western Virginia and West Virginia, 1 to 2 feet of snow in higher terrain. Maryland could see similar totals. Philadelphia, around 12 inches. Northern New Jersey, 12 inches. New York City, 6 to 10 inches. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, all seeing 6 to 10 inches. But Charlotte, Greenville, Spartanburg, Columbia, Atlanta? No snow, just ice. Devastating ice. The European ensemble mean, which averages 51 different model runs, is showing 1 to 2 inches of ice right along that Interstate 85 corridor. That is not one model having a bad day. That is 51 models agreeing that catastrophic ice is coming. Southern Arkansas is showing an even bigger maximum. The ice corridor stretches from Texas to the mid-Atlantic. This is the real deal. Now you might be wondering, can the models still change? Can this shift back south? Yes. We are not done with model shifts. The storm energy is still over the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California. Weather balloons are not sampling it. Surface observations are not picking it up. Airplanes are not flying through it. Until that energy moves onshore and gets properly measured, models will continue to adjust. But here is what is unlikely. This storm is not shifting so far south that Atlanta gets a foot of snow instead of ice. That ship has probably sailed. Could Charlotte see a bit more snow mixed in? Possibly. Could the ice zone shift 50 miles south or north? Sure. But the overall pattern is locked in. A major winter storm with crippling ice for the south and heavy snow for the mid-Atlantic and northeast. By tomorrow, grocery store shelves will be empty. Today is your last day of calm before the storm. If you have not stocked up on batteries, medications, blankets, non-perishable food, and water, do it today. Not tomorrow. Today. And here is why this storm is uniquely dangerous. It is not just the ice. It is what comes after. Friday night and Saturday, Arctic air spills in. Temperatures will run 40 degrees below average. That is not a typo. 40 degrees colder than normal. Oklahoma and Texas will see the same. By Saturday afternoon, the cold air locks in and refuses to leave. By Monday afternoon of next week, the storm will be over for 99% of people. But look at the temperatures. Still 20 to 30 degrees below average. By next Friday, one full week later, we are still 15 to 20 degrees below normal. Whatever snow and ice accumulates is not melting. This is not your classic southern winter storm where you get 3 inches of snow and then it is 50 degrees the next day. This is a week-plus event. Some people will not have power for over a week. When you are that cold for that long, this becomes a survival situation. Tuesday morning of next week, after the storm passes, temperatures will be in the single digits, some areas below zero. The Carolinas will be lucky to hit the teens. Tuesday afternoon, southern areas might reach the low 40s. But every night, temperatures will crash back down, refreezing everything. Thursday morning of next week, we are back in the teens. Thursday afternoon, struggling to reach 32 degrees. This means continued travel problems, continued power outages. You must check on your friends, your neighbors, your elderly relatives, your pets. This is not a storm you can wait out and then run to the grocery store the next day. Let me break down the timeline so you know exactly when this hits your area. Thursday, the storm begins impacting Texas and Oklahoma. Light snow and ice start in Dallas-Fort Worth. Arkansas sees precipitation begin. This is the leading edge. Roads will start becoming dangerous by Thursday evening rush hour. Friday morning, the storm intensifies. Heavy snow across Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Tennessee. Ice begins accumulating in earnest across Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. The 85 corridor from Atlanta to Charlotte starts seeing freezing rain. This is when power outages will begin. Morning commutes will be treacherous. If you are not already home, you are taking a serious risk. Friday afternoon and evening, the storm reaches peak intensity. This is when the heaviest precipitation falls. Snow rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour in the heavy bands across Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia. Ice accumulation rates of 1/4 inch per hour in the ice zone. Power lines will start snapping. Trees will start falling. By Friday night, if you are in the impact zone, you should be sheltering in place. Saturday morning, the storm begins pulling away to the northeast. But the precipitation continues. Philadelphia, New York, and Boston see heavy snow Saturday morning through Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, the South is waking up to a frozen wasteland. Power is out for millions. Roads are impassable. And the coldest air is just arriving. Saturday night into Sunday, the deep freeze begins. Temperatures crash. Any melting that occurred during the day Friday immediately refreezes into a solid sheet of ice. This is when the situation becomes truly dangerous. People without power in these temperatures need to find warming centers or alternative shelter. Sunday through the following Saturday, the long, cold siege. Temperatures remain well below freezing day and night. Utility crews will work around the clock, but ice-covered roads and downed trees will slow restoration efforts. In previous ice storms of this magnitude, some rural areas went without power for 2 to 3 weeks. Now let us talk about the different scenarios between the two main computer models, because the GFS model tells a different story than the European model. The GFS model has not shifted much over the last several runs. It keeps the heaviest snow further south, including places like Charlotte. It shows Charlotte potentially getting close to 12 inches of snow. But here is the catch. The GFS includes sleet in that total. You are not getting 12 inches of fluffy snow. You might get 5 inches of sleet, snow, and ice mix. That is still a major event, but it is not a pure snowstorm. The European model has shifted the snow shield north. It now shows the heaviest snow from Kentucky through Virginia, Maryland, and into Pennsylvania. It shows Charlotte, Atlanta, and the entire 85 corridor getting primarily ice with little to no snow. Which model is right? At this point, meteorologists are leaning towards the European model. It has handled the interaction between the northern and southern energy better. It has been more consistent with the overall pattern. The GFS seems to be underestimating the strength of the storm, which means it is underestimating how far north the warm air will push. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Both models could be wrong. The storm could still shift. The ice zone could expand or contract by 50 miles in either direction. The snow totals could go up or down by several inches. When you are forecasting a storm 3 days out that involves such a delicate balance between snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain, small changes in the atmosphere create massive changes in the outcome. This is why meteorologists are having nightmares about this forecast. One model shows a severe weather threat with tornadoes in the low country of South Carolina and Georgia. Another model shows a winter storm in the same location. We are 3 days away, and the range of outcomes is that wide. Imagine being a resident of Orangeburg, South Carolina. One model says, prepare for tornadoes. Another says, prepare for ice. How do you prepare for both? What we do know for certain is this. A major winter storm is coming. The southern United States will see significant ice accumulation. The mid-Atlantic and Northeast will see significant snow. Arctic air will settle in behind the storm and remain for over a week. Millions of people will lose power. Travel will be impossible in many areas. This is a high-impact, high-consequence event. So what do you do right now? What are the specific actions you need to take today to protect yourself and your family? First, stock up on supplies today. Not tomorrow. Today. You need water. 1 gallon per person per day for at least 7 days. You need non-perishable food that does not require cooking. Canned goods, protein bars, peanut butter, crackers, dried fruit. You need a manual can opener. You need batteries for flashlights and radios. You need medications, enough for 2 weeks in case you cannot get out. You need blankets and warm clothing, multiple layers. If you have a fireplace, stock up on firewood. If you have a generator, get fuel and make sure you know how to operate it safely. Never run a generator indoors. Second, charge every device you own. Phones, tablets, laptops, battery banks. Charge them all fully today. Download offline maps of your area. Download entertainment for kids if you have them. Download important documents to your devices. When the power goes out, you will not have internet access. Third, prepare your home. Bring in outdoor furniture and decorations that could become projectiles in high winds. Trim weak tree branches near power lines if possible. Close your curtains and blinds to help insulate windows. Know where your main water shutoff valve is located in case pipes freeze and burst. Turn your refrigerator and freezer to the coldest settings now so food stays frozen longer if you lose power. Fill your bathtub with water for flushing toilets. Fourth, prepare your vehicle. Fill up your gas tank today. Put an emergency kit in your car with blankets, water, snacks, a flashlight, and a phone charger. Clear any snow or ice off your car before the storm so it does not refreeze into a solid block. If you can, park away from trees that might fall. Fifth, make a plan. Identify where you will go if you lose power and heat for more than 24 hours. Do you have friends or family with a fireplace or generator? Are there warming centers in your community? Do you have elderly neighbors who might need help? Exchange phone numbers with neighbors so you can check on each other. Sixth, prepare for pets. Bring outdoor pets inside. Stock up on pet food and medications. Keep pets' leashes and carriers accessible in case you need to evacuate quickly. Seventh, document everything. Take photos of your property before the storm. If you have damage, you will need documentation for insurance claims. Take photos of your meter readings. Take photos of the condition of trees near your home. Eighth, turn off and unplug electronics. Protect expensive equipment from power surges when the grid comes back online. Unplug TVs, computers, gaming systems, appliances. Ninth, Know the signs of hypothermia and carbon monoxide poisoning. Hypothermia symptoms include shivering, confusion, slurred speech, drowsiness. Carbon monoxide poisoning symptoms include headache, dizziness, nausea, weakness. Never use a gas stove, grill, or generator indoors for heat. This kills people every single storm. 10th, stay informed. Follow your local National Weather Service office on social media. Follow local news stations. Follow local emergency management. Do not rely on just one source of information. Different areas will have different timing and different impacts. Now, here is something most people do not think about. Your mental preparation. This storm is going to be stressful. You might be without power for a week. You might be stuck at home with restless kids. You might be worried about work, about bills, about elderly parents. That is normal. But stress makes people make bad decisions. Stress makes people go out in dangerous conditions when they should stay home. Stress makes people take risks they normally would not take. So prepare mentally too. Accept that you will probably lose power. Accept that you will be uncomfortable. Accept that this will disrupt your life for a week or more. Once you accept that, you can make rational decisions instead of desperate ones. Stock up on activities. Books, board games, cards, puzzles. Things that do not require electricity. If you have kids, prepare activities for them. Boredom leads to conflict, leads to stress. And here is the good news. Humans are remarkably adaptable. Yes, this storm will be difficult. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. But you will get through it. Thousands of people have gotten through storms like this before. You will too. The key is preparation and patience. Now let me address some specific concerns for different groups of people. If you live in an apartment, you have unique challenges. You cannot install a generator. You cannot stock firewood. But you can prepare. Stock up on supplies, have multiple blankets. If you lose heat, close off unused rooms and stay in one room with everyone together. Body heat will keep that room warmer. Dress in layers. Wear a hat indoors because you lose significant heat through your head. If it gets dangerously cold and you cannot get warm, go to a warming center. Do not try to tough it out. If you are elderly or have health conditions, this storm poses extra risks. Make sure you have enough medications for 2 weeks. Make sure someone knows to check on you. Consider staying with family or friends who have better heat sources. If you use medical equipment that requires electricity, contact your power company now to be put on a priority list for restoration. Have a backup plan. Know where the nearest hospital is if you have a medical emergency. If you have young children, they will not understand why they cannot go outside or why the house is cold. Prepare them now. Explain that a big storm is coming. Explain that the power might go out, but you will be safe together. Make it an adventure, not a crisis. Let them help prepare. Let them pick out snacks and activities. Kids do better when they feel involved and informed. If you live in a rural area, you will likely be without power longer than people in cities. Power companies restore urban areas first because they can help more people faster. Accept that now and prepare accordingly. Stock extra firewood, extra fuel, extra supplies. Check on your neighbors. Rural communities survive storms by helping each other. If you work in healthcare, utilities, emergency services, you are going to have a rough week. Thank you in advance for what you are about to do. Make sure your family is prepared so you can focus on your job. Pre-stage supplies for them. Make sure they know your plan. Make sure they know who to call if they have an emergency and you are not available. If you are a business owner, secure your property now. Protect inventory. Protect equipment. Document everything for insurance. Communicate with employees about closure plans. Do not expect anyone to come to work during the storm. Their safety is more important than any business operation. The storm is coming. That is certain. The exact details are still being refined. But whether you get 6 inches of ice or 8 inches of ice, whether you get 12 inches of snow or 18 inches of snow, the outcome is the same. Major disruption, power outages, dangerous conditions. The time to prepare is now. Comment below with where you are watching from. Tell me your city and state. I want to know who is in the impact zone. I want to know who is preparing. And in the next video, I am going to break down specific forecasts for major cities. I am going to show you the hour-by-hour timeline for your area. I am going to show you updated ice and snow maps as the models continue to come in. This is not the time to panic. This is the time to prepare. Panic makes people do stupid things. Preparation makes people do smart things. You have today. Use it wisely. Get your supplies. Make your plan. Check on your neighbors. Charge your devices. And then settle in for what is going to be a historic winter weather event. The models shifted north overnight, but that does not mean the danger decreased. It means the danger changed. Ice is more destructive than snow. Ice brings down power lines. Ice snaps trees. Ice makes roads impassable for days longer than snow. And with the Arctic air behind this system, the ice is not going anywhere for over a week. Let me get specific about what different regions should expect, because the impacts vary dramatically based on where you live. If you are in Oklahoma or northern Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth could see 4 to 6 inches of ice. That is catastrophic for 8 million people. Power will be out for hundreds of thousands. If you are in Arkansas, Little Rock is in the bullseye with 1 to 2 inches of ice possible. This could rival the worst ice storms on record. If you are in Tennessee, Nashville could see 6 to 10 inches of ice and snow mix. Memphis will see more ice. All interstates will be impassable. If you are in Georgia, Metro Atlanta could see 1 to 2 inches of ice. The world's busiest airport will shut down, creating nationwide flight delays. If you are in South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson face catastrophic ice with trees and power lines down for weeks. If you are in North Carolina, Charlotte faces 1 to 2 inches of ice. The Triad faces significant ice. Western mountains will see over a foot of snow. If you are in Virginia, western areas are looking at 1 to 2 feet of snow. Roanoke, Blacksburg, Charlottesville could see 18 to 24 inches. If you are in Maryland through Pennsylvania, heavy snow is expected with western areas seeing 1 to 2 feet. Philadelphia could see 6 to 12 inches depending on exact track. If you are in New Jersey and New York, northern areas face 10 to 12 inches. New York City is looking at 6 to 10 inches, enough to shut down subways and create dangerous driving. If you are in New England, you are on the far northern edge with 4 to 8 inches possible. This southern storm reaches just far enough north to impact you, but the worst effects are further south. Now, let us talk about what happens after the storm, because the aftermath is just as dangerous. Power restoration after an ice storm is slow and dangerous. Crews cannot work safely in single-digit temperatures. In previous major ice storms, some areas went 2 weeks without power. Rural areas went 3 weeks. 2 weeks without power in January means no heat, no way to charge phones, no way to cook. Temperatures inside your home will match outside. If it is 10 degrees outside, it will eventually be 10 degrees inside unless you have alternative heat. This is why generators are sold out. This is why grocery stores are empty. People who lived through ice storms before know what is coming. Let us talk about specific scenarios you might face and how to handle them. If you lose power Friday afternoon when it is 30 degrees outside, keep refrigerator doors closed. Gather everyone in one room and close doors to other areas. Dress in layers with thermal underwear, multiple shirts, a jacket, and wear a hat indoors. Use flashlights. Never candles. Check on elderly neighbors. If it is Friday night with no power and 20-degree temperatures, your house is getting dangerously cold. If you have a fireplace or generator, use them properly. If not, go to friends, family, or warming centers. Do not tough it out. Hypothermia sets in before you realize it. If it is Saturday with still no power, single-digit temperatures, and roads of pure ice, this is why you need a week of supplies starting today. You will hunker down and wait for power. You will be cold and uncomfortable, but you will survive if you prepared. If someone has a medical emergency during the storm, call 911 immediately. Emergency services still operate, but response times will be slower. Do not try to drive yourself if roads are impassable. Here is the key message. The next 48 hours determine how you experience the next 2 weeks. Prepare now and you will be uncomfortable, but okay. Do not prepare and you could be in real danger. This is reality based on what happens every time a major ice storm hits the South. People will die during this storm. some in car accidents on icy roads, some from carbon monoxide poisoning using generators or grills indoors, some from hypothermia in homes without heat, some from heart attacks shoveling snow, some from house fires caused by candles or space heaters. These deaths are preventable with proper preparation. Do not be a statistic. Prepare your home, stock your supplies, make your plan, then stay inside and wait it out. Do not drive unless absolutely necessary. Do not use generators indoors. Do not use grills or stoves for heat. Do not leave candles burning unattended. Check on vulnerable neighbors. Keep your phone charged. Stay informed through battery-powered radios. The storm is coming whether you are ready or not. Model shifts only change the details. Ice versus snow. 12 inches versus 18 inches. 3 days without power versus 7 days. But the outcome is the same. A major, historic, crippling winter storm impacting tens of millions of people. Stay tuned for more updates. The next video will have specific timing for your city. Comment your location below so I know where to focus the forecast. I want to hear from people in Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Richmond, Philly, New York. Tell me where you are. Tell me if you are prepared. Tell me if you have questions. This storm is going to test every community it touches, but we will get through it together. Those who prepare will fare better than those who do not. Those who help their neighbors will create stronger communities. Those who stay calm will make better decisions. The storm is coming. Are you ready?